Hello, everyone, in a stunning development that has left fans, entertainment insiders, and most of all his family in deep emotional shock. Music mogul Simon Cowell, known globally for his unfiltered honesty, commanding presence, and business genius, has reportedly left behind a financial legacy so vast and intricately personal that it brought his family to tears. Not just because of the staggering fortune itself, but because of the deeply thoughtful, emotional, and sometimes surprising ways it was distributed. For decades, Simon Cowell ruled the airwaves, transforming ordinary singers into international superstars, revolutionizing reality TV with hits like American Idol, The X Factor, and Britain's Got Talent, and carving out a reputation as one of the most influential and wealthiest figures in modern entertainment. But beneath the sharp suits, biting critiques, and multi-million-dollar TV deals was a man who, as revealed by those closest to him, cared more about legacy, family, and the values he rarely showed publicly than anyone had ever realized. Simon's financial empire, estimated at over $600 million at the time of his passing, was the result of decades of relentless work, creative risk-taking, and an ability to foresee what the world wanted before it knew it. Yet despite that towering success, Simon often hinted in interviews that he didn't believe in leaving money just for the sake of it, once famously declaring that he didn't intend to pass on his entire fortune to his son, Eric, because he wanted to instill a sense of independence and drive. However, as family members gathered to open the final contents of his will and private letters, they were stunned to discover a more layered, emotional, and generous Simon than the one the world knew. According to a trusted family spokesperson, the inheritance was not just about money. It was a story, a final message from Simon to those he loved, carefully constructed over years with legal advisors, friends, and confidants. His longtime partner and the mother of his son, Lauren Silverman, was reportedly overwhelmed to find a heartfelt letter attached to her portion of the estate, not only expressing gratitude for her unwavering loyalty through Simon's public and private struggles, including his near-fatal bike accident, but also acknowledging the quiet sacrifices she made to keep the family grounded. To his son Eric, Simon left a substantial trust fund, far larger than he had ever publicly suggested. But more importantly, he included a handwritten journal filled with personal lessons, reflections on his own mistakes, and hopes for Eric's future. One entry reportedly read, "Don't chase fame, son. Chase truth. And when the world wants you to be loud, learn to listen." Eric is also said to have inherited Simon's prized car collection, rare music memorabilia, and a stake in a charitable foundation focused on children's mental health, an issue Simon grew passionate about in his later years. Beyond his immediate family, Cowell's will contained generous gifts for longtime colleagues, including producers, assistants, and even contestants he had mentored privately, long after the cameras stopped rolling. Several former contestants, once thought forgotten, were stunned to receive letters and trust contributions meant to support their creative dreams. "He never stopped believing in me, even after the show," one tearful singer shared. Additionally, portions of his estate were quietly donated to causes dear to his heart, including animal welfare organizations, children's hospitals, and mental health awareness campaigns. What made his family cry, however, was not the money, but the symbolism behind it, the handwritten notes, the tailored gifts, the way Simon had used his final act not to boast, but to connect, to heal, and to ensure his loved ones knew just how deeply they were cherished. In a final video message recorded months before his passing, shown privately to the family, Simon appeared vulnerable, reflective, and almost unrecognizable from the stern TV judge the world had come to know. He spoke candidly about regrets, joys, and how love, not fame, was the only thing that ever truly mattered. All the cameras, the applause, the critics, none of it compares to watching your child laugh or feeling truly seen by someone you love, paired with the thoughtful distribution of his wealth and the emotional legacy he left behind, turned what could have been a cold reading of a will into a moment of healing, remembrance, and awe. As fans around the world reflect on the life and influence of Simon Cowell, what now resonates most isn't just the empire he built, but the way he used his final chapter to write a deeply human story of love, accountability, generosity, and emotional legacy. The man who once made the world cry with harsh critiques now leaves it crying for an entirely different reason. Not from humiliation, but from the stunning realization that beneath the sarcasm and sharp wit was a man who loved deeply, planned thoughtfully, and used his final farewell to bring peace, unity, and clarity to the people he loved most. Thanks for watching.